Everybody. Well, if the color is any indicator, we have moved on from the root chakra, which we worked with the previous practice, and we are now focusing on the second chakra, which is known as the sacral chakra, also known as the Swadisthana Chakra. And the color is orange, so I had to really dig deep in my closet to find this guy for you all. We are going to start the way we're going to start every practice in this series, which is in a comfortable seated position where you can have a few minutes of seated meditation. So wherever is going to allow you to have that integration, that sense of arrival, go ahead and get there. Start to move into a position where you can be relatively still, finding a resting place for your hands, perhaps closing the eyes, and beginning that process of arriving in the practice. Again, we are focusing our energy on the sacral chakra today, the Swadisthana Chakra, which is the second of the 7 main chakras. It's located just below the navel and governs our emotions, our creativity, and our sensuality. So if it feels available or of interest to you, I extend an invitation to take one or both hands and place them right below your navel in that place where the sacral chakra is located. Feeling that connection between the palm of your hand and this source of quite literally where life is created. This space of sensuality and passion, of deep emotion. The Swadhisthana Chakra is associated with the water element. So you may even feel a sense of swirling energy. Maybe it feels like a small trickle. Maybe you're feeling a lot of energy in this part of your body. Maybe you feel connected to this color orange. And some of the primary emotions related to this chakra when it's really in balance is a sense of joy, passion, and healthy relationships. It's also associated with this deep connection to your creative energy. And so when the Swadhisthana Chakra is balanced and unblocked, you feel more inspired, open, and passionate. Breathing in, I am creative and inspired. Breathing out, letting your creativity lead you in this practice. Take that twice more. Breathing in, I am creative and inspired. Breathing out, I will allow my creativity to guide me. Breath in, creative and inspired. Breath out, leading with creativity. If your hand's still on that sacral chakra area, you can bring it back to the lap or your knee. We'll start to move in clockwise circles, moving the torso around, almost like you're stirring a big pot of soup with your torso. Eyes can be open or closed. If you're sitting on a block like I am, you could stay there. If it feels better to remove it and connect your sitting bones to the mat, you could do that as well. Taking about 2 or 3 more circles in this clockwise direction, starting to stir up that creative energy field around that sacral chakra, coming to neutral. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Twisting, take your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. We'll be welcoming in several different twists in the practice today. Again, starting to build this sense of connection, that watery, swirling energy below the navel. Looking forward. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky or ceiling. Exhale, hands back down to lap or knees, starting to counterclockwise move in those circles. not overthinking this. So again, when we connect with this chakra, this is one where we really want to get out of our heads. This is that source of creativity and sensuality. It's not about how things look, it's about how they feel. It's also where we come back to that root of emotion. Coming to neutral, inhale, reach up tall through the spine, through the arms, twist the other direction, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Feel like you're twisting from that energy source below your belly button. That's where that twist is really coming from. Take one more breath here. And then looking forward, inhale one more, reaching up towards the ceiling. We're going to come forward onto all fours, finding our way into our tabletop position, stacking the joints. We are going to do a cat and cow, but when we do our cat and cow today, we're going to take it at a little bit more of a speedy pace. So let's just take 2, maybe 3 cat and cows at a more normal, nice, relaxed pace, and just kind of letting you do this on your own, just getting into your body, feeling into the spine. Maybe taking one more cat and cow at your kind of natural, more common pace. And then we're going to take this nice and fast for 20 repetitions. So inhale, drop to your cow. Exhale, round to your cat. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and 3. Inhale, and 4. Inhale, and 5. Inhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. That's 9, almost halfway there. 10, 9, 8. Feel the breath, feel the heat below the navel. 6. There's 5 more to go. Keep it going. 3. Rounding on that exhale, last 1. Come to a neutral spine. Walk your knees back so you're in a half plank, dropping your hips slightly forward so you have that diagonal line from the crown of the head to your knees. Inhale, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, elbows straight back as you take that modified chaturanga all to the mat. Lengthen your legs to the back of your mat. I almost said lengthen. That would be quite the word, wouldn't it? Tuck your elbows into the sides of the body. A nice long cobra hold here as you inhale, lifting the head, the neck, the chest, the shoulders. Not locking out the elbows. We're not taking a cheating cobra here. We're keeping the energy in the back body here. Spine is really working, pulling the heart forward. Feel that sacral chakra rooting down into the mat. 2 more breaths here. Bhujangasana. 1 more full inhale. Exhale, release out of that, shift back to a child's pose, hips to heels. Knees can be as narrow or as wide as it feels good to you. Breathing in, I am creative and inspired. Breathing out, I'm letting creativity guide my practice. Shifting forward to your first downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, pressing up and back. Have a conversation with your dog. Every time that you come into these poses, you're creating something new with the body that you have in this moment. So with that creativity really leading you in this pose, what does your downward facing dog need to look like? Where do you need to breathe into? Where is there space that you can work with? Where are there obstacles that you need to honor? Take a moment, make sure you're really connected with the root system through the hands, through the feet. Check in with those root locks through the palms of the hands, feeling the heels melting down, and then softening through the neck, letting the eyes gaze back in between the big toes. We're going to take a few twisting actions here in our down dog. Inhale, come high up onto the balls of the feet. Twist your knees to the right, bend your knees, hips to heels as you twist in your dog. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees left, heels right. Inhale, twist right. Inhale, twist left. 3 more each side, up and twist. And up and twist. 2 more each side, you've got it now. And up and twist. Feeling that swirling watery energy at the base of the navel. Down dog. Looking to the front of your mat.
walking, stepping, or if you're already ready to hop, by all means, find your way to the front of the mat. Take your first dangling pose. The other thing about the sacral chakra is that's because when it's balanced and unblocked, we get this feeling of inspiration and openness and passion, is there's a lot of playfulness. There's a lot of joy when we're connected with this chakra. So let your inner child play in the practice. Be playful, be joyful. Inhale, lift up halfway. Wow, look at what your body can do. Fold forward. Sweep those arms out and up. Moving through 3 Surya Namaskaram A, hands to heart center. Here we go. Sweep those arms forward up. Exhale, folding over the legs. Inhaling, creative and inspired, half lift. Exhale, lead with that creativity through your plank. Come all the way down to the mat. Listen carefully. 2 options. For those of you that want locust, keep the knees straight, reach your arms back, lift. For those of you that are open to Dhanurasana, bend the knees, either front of the ankles or tops of the feet. Push in, lift up to your bow pose for 3. For 2, can you tell why this would be a pose that's so deeply inspiring for that sacral chakra? Release it out. Palms underneath you, tuck your toes, either pass through all 4s or up through your plank and back to your downward facing dog. Take a couple clarifying breaths. Prioritizing what brings you joy. Looking to the front of your mat. Walk, step, or a little playful hop to the front of your mat. And then an inhale, half lift. Exhaling to fold. When's the last time you thought about joy when you did a yoga practice? Sweep those arms forward and up. Not about the technique, not about how far you get in the poses, hands to heart center, but play, joy. Sweep those arms forward, up, and back. Your body creating these amazing shapes, folding over the legs. Inhaling, half lift. It's amazing all you can create. Exhale, stepping back through your plank. Same vinyasa pattern, lowering all the way to the mat. Either locust with extended arms and legs, or Dhanurasana, holding onto feet or front of ankles. 3. 2, notice your emotions while you're here. You're resting in that bowl of your emotions in your sacral chakra. Release. Tuck the toes, plant the palms, either all 4s or press up through chaturanga. And down dog. Take 3 breaths. Breathing in that creativity, that inspiration. Breathing out, letting it be your guide in the practice. So what that means is if your creativity is inspiring you to do something different than what I'm calling, that's okay. That's you being in connection with that Swadisthana Chakra. Inhale, look to the front of the mat, walk, step, or a playful hop. Half lift. And fold. Let that inner child play. Come up to stand. 1 more Surya A, hands to heart center. Sweeping arms forward and up. Exhaling to fold. Laughing at ourselves when we make mistakes. Inhaling, half lift. It's all just a divine play. Stepping back, lowering to the mat. Same vinyasa pattern, locust or Dhanurasana, you're choosing. 3 full breaths here. Feel that swirl of orangey energy right below your belly button. Every breath massaging that sacral chakra. Releasing, tucking the toes, plant the palms, either through all 4s or reversing through that chaturanga to downward facing dog. Sacral chakra, the home of sensuality. Can you find that the pleasure in the pose? What feels yummy in this pose? Inhale, looking to the front of your mat, walk, step, or a little playful hop. Half lift, fold in. Sweep those arms out and up. 2 lunge salutations, but we're gonna take a camel pose as our back bend. So just know that we're gonna add that in, so listen carefully there. Release the arms, stand tall, breathe in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Arms reaching forward, up, back. Fold over the legs. We'll lead with the left as we step that left foot to the back of the mat. Settle the left knee down. Find your lunge. This is the first lunge we've done of the practice. I'm going to give us a few breaths. Let yourself get creative here. What do you need to feel into this pose? Find the pleasure in the pose. What feels yummy? Where is your creativity leading you? Take one more full breath. Step it back. Right knee beside left knee as we prep for our camel. Inhale, lift the arms up. You could take a half, right hand to right heel. You could take hands to low back, or you could take full camel, okay? You decide. 3 breaths here, Ustrasana. 2. One more full breath in the pose. Lift up through the heart, reach the arms up. Ashtangasana, 8-pointed pose. So you're going to tuck your toes and your knees are already down. So now we just need to add in our hands, our chest, and our chin. Slide forward. Lift up to that cobra from our warm-up. Back to down dog for 3 breaths. Breathing in that creativity, that inspiration. Sometimes we think of creativity in very narrow ways. We think of art, we think of dance, we think of theater, music. But what kind of world are we creating? What kind of family do we create with the values that we live day in and day out? Creativity is so expansive. Look to the front of your mat, left foot steps forward, right knee melts down. Create this pose. Prioritize what feels good. Maybe prioritizing pleasure in the pose. Like, I just want this to feel yummy. So what would that look like? And then create that. 2 more breaths in this lunge. Nice breath in. Breath out, hands come down, let the right foot step forward to meet the left, that's position 10, then reaching forward up and back, position 11, hands to heart center, last sun salutation, release the arms, stand tall, breath in, exhale, hands to heart center, keep it flowing, arms forward up and back, long spine, folding over the legs. You'll lead with the right this time, right foot back, right knee down, just 1 breath to play here. Being playful, being joyful. And then hands come down, left knee next to right knee, setting up for Ustrasana. So if you did half, make sure you reverse and do the other half. Moving into your camel pose. 3 breaths. 2. 1. Ashtangasana, lifting up, tuck the toes, hands, chest, chin, 8-pointed pose. Slide. Find your cobra. Down dog, take your 3 breaths. The sacral chakra, we also talked about as kind of the house for the emotions. It's when we talk about leading with your gut or checking in with your gut, doing a gut check. I've got a feeling in my belly. I've got a knot in my belly. All of these come from this intuitive wisdom we have about the emotions being right below the navel at that deep belly center. Look forward, right foot forward, left knee down. Just a breath here. So taking responsibility for your emotions. Step the left foot forward to meet the right, fold. Sweeping the arms forward, up and back. Hands to heart center. Close the eyes, release the arms, coming into a micro meditation here. Noticing how the energy in your body feels now. Maybe it feels nice to bring the hands back to the belly below the navel where we started. That orange, swirly, watery energy that is the source of emotion, sensuality. 1 more breath right here. Then blinking open your eyes,
Release the arms if they were on the lower abdomen. We're going to move into our standing sequence. We're only going to do the standing sequence once on each side today. We're going to get in the poses because I want us to be able to be in each shape long enough to feel it. Let the emotions arise. You may get in some of these poses and you don't like them, and that's okay, because part of cultivating the relationship with the sacral chakra is learning to be with even the uncomfortable emotions that arise. Okay, so standing at the front of our mat, we'll start this standing sequence with our mountain pose, feeling that sense of steadfast energy. Even when we're working with the water energy of the sacral chakra, we have the stability of the mountain that we can bring with us into these poses. Sweep your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold over your legs. We're going to set up for side angle pose. So I'm going to invite your left foot to come to the back of the mat. Spin your left heel down at about a 45-degree angle. Deeply bend your right knee. Bring your right hand onto a block. Maybe your right forearm comes to your right thigh. Maybe it stays on the floor, and reach your left arm towards the sky, finding your side angle pose. Again, prioritizing your pleasure in the pose. Letting yourself lead with creativity. That sense of what brings you joy in this shape. But also taking responsibility for any emotions that arise. Is there an emotion of urgency that's like, can we get the heck out of here? This pose is hard. Can you be with that discomfort knowing it's going to pass? Take one more inhale here. As we prepare to rise to high lunge, drop your head down to your mat. That's going to help with your balance as you sweep your left arm down, pivot onto the ball of your left foot, and then sweep both arms up as you rise up into high lunge. Settle in for a moment. Feel that mountain energy, that steadiness here. And then we're going to move into some twisting as we drop the right arm back, the left arm reaches forward, and pivot your torso around to the right. Now, as you breathe here, I want you to think of taking your collarbones and broaden them. Yes. Make your upper back more expansive. Reach back through your right fingertips, forward through your left fingertips. One more full breath here. Now you're going to reverse this twist. So your right hand's going to drop to the back of your left thigh, left arm to the sky or ceiling, lean back. Breathe into that space in the left side of your body. I know your legs are getting tired, but you can be with that emotion. You can honor that discomfort. You can honor that maybe there's a part of you that's getting frustrated at working so hard, and stay here for one more breath. We're going to windmill down to revolved high lunge. So left hand's going to come all the way down to blocker floor, right arm to ceiling. Belly button is turning towards your right inner thigh. Right shoulder is floating, lifting up towards the ceiling. Can you tap into that sense of childlike play and joy? Can you find that emotion maybe amidst some of the more uncomfortable ones? Drop your head, look down at the mat, steady your balance. You're going to windmill all the way up to star pose facing the long edge of your mat. Left arm up, open, boom. Sit down to goddess. Okay, connect with that energy right below your belly button. Maybe even, for me, I like to touch my body. It's like a little self-assist. Okay, here I am. This is where I'm focusing. Bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Keep your elbows wide. You know what's coming, right? Yeah, you know where we're going. Right elbow to right knee or thigh, and then come up to center. Keep those hips low. Left to left, and to center. 2 more each side. You can do that. It's just 3 each way, and up, and left, and up. Feel that swirly energy. You got it. Right, and up. You're almost there. Left, and up. Inhale, star. Oh, that's going to feel good. Turn those toes forward, forward fold,
Ooh, that nice wide-legged forward bend feels so nice. Walk those hands back in line with the feet. For me, I love to take an exaggerated inhale, really lengthen through my spine, and then exhale, let my head fall towards the floor. Maybe roll the shoulders, get that space away from the earlobes. Shoulders lifting up and away from the earlobes so the neck is long. Jaw relaxed. Breathing in, I am creative and inspired. I let that creativity guide me. Inhale, walking the hands forward, lift the spine. Exhale, walk into the front of your mat space, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Reach those arms up, big inhale. Exhale, step that left foot forward to meet the right, Uttanasana, forward fold. Okay, now I'm gonna face you so you can see this. We're gonna do these standing knee to elbow balance walks. We're gonna do 5 of them and we're gonna hold the 5th. You're like, I don't know what any of that means. That's okay. You're just gonna go with me and you're gonna get it quickly, I promise. So take your right hand to your waist, connect your left elbow to your left knee. You can bend your left knee a little bit. Okay, soften your right knee a little bit. Now you're gonna stand up. Do not disconnect your left elbow from your left knee when you stand. Boom. Yeah, that's it. Now drop down. Now switch, left hand to waist, right elbow to right knee. Now stand, don't disconnect. Woo! And down. Switch, left, stand. That one's easier for me. Down. Switch, right, stand. That one's harder for me. Down. This one we hold. Switch, stand, hold. I want you to think of sliding your left knee towards your armpit. Whew. Can you? Yeah. Do you feel that contraction in your sacral chakra? That's it. Hold. 2. You got 2 more breaths. That's it. It's almost like a standing half crow pose. And then lower down. And take a vinyasa. Hands to the mat. Float it back. Flow it out. Everybody's going to meet in down dog. Notice what you're feeling. What emotion is present right now. Take responsibility for that emotion, whatever it is. Maybe you're feeling happy, like, oh, I just did something I've never done before. Maybe there's something else that's present for you. Take responsibility for your emotions. Breathing in, you're creative and inspired. Breathing out, that creativity is what's guiding this practice, not me. I'm just here offering suggestions. Looking near the front of your mat, here we go, second side of the sequence. Side angle pose, left foot forward, right heel spins down. Take your time. Prioritize pleasure in this pose. Build it in a way that you enjoy being in it. It does not have to be suffering for it to be valuable. And then when you get there, stay there. And notice what shows up. Do you need to change something in order to still enjoy being here? Can you learn to enjoy working hard? Last full breath. We're going to transition to high lunge. Turn your head down to the mat. Get stable in your balance. Sweep your right arm down. Pivot onto the ball of your right foot. Controlled transition. Rise up to that high lunge. Connect with that mountain energy. It's still here. And then now we twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. And I know we did a practice a few weeks ago where we talked about the pelvis. This is a pose where it's really valuable to think about what your pelvis is doing. Let the right side of your pelvis melt forward and down and see if that allows you to access more pleasure in the pose. Revolve it, left hand to the back of the right thigh, right arm up, lean back. How does that change the experience? Maybe you're creating resilience right now. Concentration. You are creating that ability within yourself to be with difficult things. That's a pretty darn good thing to create. One more inhale. Revolved high lunge, right hand to block or floor, left arm to ceiling. And again, if the discomfort shows up, you can be with it, knowing it's going to pass. Nothing's permanent anyways. Two more breaths in this revolved high lunge. Valuing that relationship with yourself. And then you're going to windmill up to your star pose. So look down, big transition, windmill up, star. Goddess. Interlace those hands, elbows wide. Start with the left elbow to left thigh, and up, and right, and up. Notice if your toes get a little bit too excited in this pose, keep the heels nice and anchored, right? My toes get really clinchy here. Left, just a little self-observation, up and right. This is the last one. You did it. Stand up, star. Turn those feet parallel, fold. Now, if you know a different variation of this pose, your creativity is leading you here anyways. If you want to take a loop around your big toes, if you want your hands on your hips, if you want to walk your hands forward or back, if you want to go upside down, you are creative and inspired. That creativity is leading your practice. You got 3 more breaths here. Play. 2. Is your jaw relaxed? Inhale, walk the hands forward. Walk to the front of your mat, find a nice low lunge. Nice big breath in. Uttanasana, front of the mat, right foot forward. Here we go, these little playful walks. Let me see if I can get this second side a little bit more under control here this time around. Right elbow to right knee, left hand to waist. Here we go, stand up. Something about that side, I tell you. And down, switch it out. Left, lift. Woo. Down. And right. And lower. And left. I don't know what to call these. If you come up with a good name, text me, email me, let me know. Last one we hold. Right is lifting. Don't you disconnect that elbow from the knee and try to slide it towards your armpit. Ah, yes. 2. One more breath. Ooh, high five myself here. Good. Down, Vinyasa, flow it out. Well done. Downward facing dog. Look at that space in the middle of your mat. We're going to jump through to seated. We're going to set up for baby cradle pose or rock the baby pose, depending on what you want to call it. So we're going to have the left leg kind of be the foundation first, and then the right leg is what we're going to rock. So depending on the openness of the hip, you may need to have a hand on a knee and a hand on a foot. This is your rocking. You can also take a bind if you can find space around both of the elbows. Okay? Then we want to check in with the spine here. Try not to have a turtle shell back. We want a nice tall spine, really nice and spacious. And then as you rock a little bit more enthusiastically to the left. So we're getting more into that outer hip. Yeah, that's it. Just a couple more breaths right here. Now we're going to take this. I'm going to say as gracefully as possible, acknowledging that I do not look very graceful when I make this transition because I'm coming onto my back. So from here, I'm going to come onto my back for kind of a reclined version. It's almost like a reclined pigeon pose, but I'm still in that baby cradle position. But here gravity is helping you a little bit more. And I went ahead and put my left foot on my mat for more stability. And just stay with that for another breath or 2. And then we're going to come into half happy baby. So right hand comes to the pinky side edge of that right foot. And then you lift the right foot towards the ceiling and pull the right knee and thigh down towards the floor. My right thigh is kind of melting on the outer edge of my torso. So towards the floor, out to the side. Yeah. And this is another good time to check in with the pelvis. Don't fight that the pelvis wants to lift a little bit here. That's fine. And then full happy baby, let your left leg join the party. True happy baby pose here. You can rock, you can roll, you can straighten, bend your knees. Your creativity is leading because you are filled with creativity and inspiration. And then we get to reverse this whole little sequence from right here. So I'm going to release my right foot and bring it down to the mat out in front of me. Here I am in half happy baby on that left side. Take a few breaths, really nurturing that side of things. And then I'm actually going to come into that baby cradle pose on my back first. So I'm going to kind of bring my left foot over to my right hand. Maybe I'm using right hand to left foot and I have my left hand on my left knee. Maybe you can find that elbow bind, whatever works. Let the gravity help you out here. And then I think we can all agree to kind of throw gracefulness out the window here because we've got to come back up to seated. So to do that, when I practiced this, gained a little bit of momentum with the use of my right leg and kind of rocked myself up. Whoop. Oh, good. Most of us made it. Find your nice cradle rock again. A little bit more to the right here. We tend to do it to the left because it feels easier over there, but go to the right. And then Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let them kiss, knees out wide. And really choose your depth here. So you can have a nice little diamond shape or you can have a really closed position. Hands can be around the toes or the ankles, whatever feels better to you. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale, folding forward. We're going to be here about 45 seconds or so, a little bit longer. So give yourself time to settle in. When we balance the Swadisthana Chakra, we really stimulate our creative potential. We celebrate our sensuality. We remember that pleasure has a purpose. Pleasure is important. And we allow ourselves to really feel inspired and open. As you breathe here in this pose, which is so similar to like a fetal-like pose, it's this reminder of this little place of creativity that we all started from. We were all created. We are creations. And we are imbued with that power of creativity in every cell of us. Creating life, creating art, creating this world. We're going to keep this same shape with the legs as we start to bring ourselves onto our spines for Supta Baddha Konasana. If there's anything that you know you're going to want for Shavasana, a blanket, an eye pillow, bring it with you because we're not going to come back up to seated. Making your way onto your spine, Supta Baddha Konasana. Letting that energy of gravity melt the knees open. Maybe placing the hands below the navel, right where that sacral chakra is located. Feeling that swirling orange, inspired energy in your body. That sense of being open to inspiration, to creativity, to sensuality, to possibility. When I was reading for this practice, I came across a very short quote that really stuck out to me that said, the sacral chakra teaches us to respect all of our feelings and allows each of those feelings to become a teacher to us. The sacral chakra teaches us to respect all of our feelings and allows all of those feelings to become teachers to us. Coming into a very simple spinal twist here, simply close your left thigh over your right. Reach your left arm behind you for a soft little spinal twist, taking a couple breaths here. And then like a little clamshell opening up, let that left knee lift up and open once more. You're briefly in that reclined Baddha, and then twisting the other direction, letting your left leg and thigh close over, or your right leg and thigh close over your left. Gentle little twist. And then as we open into Shavasana, you may like to take Shavasana in that reclined bound angle. You may prefer to take a more traditional shape by extending the legs and the arms. Coming into our final pose of rest. Breathing in, I am creative and inspired. And breathing out, I allow that creativity to guide me. I am creative and inspired. I can trust that creativity to lead me. Creative and inspired. Trusting our creativity. Without moving your body, allow your breath to deepen. Before we exit Shavasana, ask yourself, what do I want to create? What do I want to create? Notice what arises from that wellspring of inspiration inside of you. What do you want to create? And then we'll begin to slowly come out of this resting position, reawakening your body in a way that feels natural and intuitive to you. And then eventually, in your own way and in your own time, returning to a comfortable seat. Bringing the palms of the hands together to close the practice. Remembering that we can take this inspiration for what do I want to create with us when we roll up our mats. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, which sounds like these 4 words in Sanskrit. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Victory to all of our practices.